the Laura critic. Her book name is The Epistles of Familiaris. Epistole Familiaris. It's in the 1488, and the next one is the third one is the Mary Astle. Mary Astle, a serious proposal to the ladies. A serious proposal to the ladies. And the fourth one is Mary Wollstonecraft, a vindications of the women's rights. So this information is there on the page number 141. The other important thing is that schools of feminism we discussed yesterday. The radical feminism, liberal feminism, and Marxist and socialist feminism. It's based on the Karl Marx theory of Das Kapital or the capitalism, and how the working class people are suffering, and how this capitalism is controlling the people in two ways. In these lines, we have studied about the Marxism and socialist feminism. And another important thing in continuation is that cultural feminism. Cultural feminism. It's in the page number 143, 11.3.4. As I have told you, there are the three questions important from this unit, along with the match the following and the fill in the blanks that has given in the textbook itself. No need to read the extra material outside, but just focus on here. Focus on here. And in this, we are reading the 9 types of feminism, subfields of the feminism. Subfields of the feminism. Feminism is an umbrella term, but within that umbrella term, we have 9 types of the feminism. In the one type, here it's, the 3 types, 3 subtypes are combined together. We'll discuss later. Here it's cultural feminism. Now we are discussing this term, and this idea is developed during the time of 1970s. It is talking about the female nature and female essence. Female nature and female essence, because the basic thing is that in that cultural feminism, it's the reproductive system. It's based on the reproductive system, and that woman has more responsibilities and more burden in the domestic area, but the same things are not there for the men. When it comes to the working woman, she has to take care of the home and children, and at the same time the outside profession also. So this kind of a double burden is the discussing in this cultural feminism. And this thing is the rearing children, the producing children is not the job of the male. So that's why they are less burden compared to the women. And this activity is not considered. This activity is not considered as a domestic contribution, as a help to the family. People are just taking it for as a granted. A woman can do because she is a woman, she has to take care of all the things. So in the take it for granted nature, they have reduced the woman's position. But when it comes to the men cannot do such kind of things. For example, I will give you just in a general view. There is a movie, the Kareena Kapoor and Arjun Kapoor, Key and Ka, or Ka and Ki. It's a Hindi Bollywood movie. Just for a cross reference, if you have a time, just watch it. And another one, psychoanalytic feminism. Psychoanalytic feminism. The psychoanalytical feminism is on the page number 144. It believes that a fundamental exploitation or explanation of a woman's way of acting is rooted deep in women's psyche, or the manner in which women think about themselves as women. The thing is that this is the same thing like the Sigmund Freud says. Sigmund Freud, what Sigmund Freud says, the same as here the psychoanalytical feminism itself is same, because the woman, in her innate nature, she thinks like the woman, because being biologically she is a woman, and also psychologically she is a woman because she's trained up. She trained up. So that's why. Her innate nature itself is being like the woman, and it is through this idea he says that there are the two kind of a theory. One is the Sigmund Freud and the symbolic Sigmund Freud theory, psychoanalytical. It is based on the Oedipus complex. Oedipus complex, but also we don't need to go into detail of that. What is Oedipus complex theory? You may have read it in the other texts also, in the British literature or in American literature or in any other drama. So same thing will come, something will appear. It basically look at the psychological point of view. And another important theory in the psychoanalytical feminism is with the Francis Lacan. LSEAN, Lacan theory, symbolic order. Symbolic order. This is another theory. So what is this? Oh, okay. Page number 145. And another important feminist psychoanalytic person is Julia Kristeva. Julia Kristeva. She is discussing about the semiotic theory. From among these three, among these nine, my dear friends, please remember at least five. Read five. In examination, they may ask you. So, what is this kind of? Write any three or four or five. What types of feminism? This is about the psychoanalytical feminism, and also it discusses about the experiences result in the society giving more importance to masculine experiences. Their hypothesis was that the non-patriarchal society, masculinity and femininity would be differently constructed since the patriarchal privilege would not operate. So all these things are there in the 11.3.5 on page number 145. Another important here, the black feminism. Black feminism. In your examination point of view, it's very easy to write. Very easy to write and easy to remember. Here, in the black feminism, we should remember it started in the 1960s and the 70s. The feminist movements, women of various communities and backgrounds come together to question the patriarchal systems. Different kind of communities from different places. They joined together. Earlier, it is just in the beginning, it is a white women's movement, but later from diversification, from different culture people, different cultures, different geographical regions, the people have gathered and contributed their voice against the dominant patriarchal systems. The same as in this way, black people also joined. Earlier, these black people were worked as slaves. The male and female both are working as slaves. But when it comes to the being as a woman is a one burden and the other burden is the slave. So the black people are experiencing with the double burdens, So their double burden experience has a more value and more intensity, and there are more things to learn about it. So that is why this black feminism voices have taken, have considered a very prominent in the feminist rights movements. So if given a black feminist perspective, a term is used by the black woman to make sense how white supremacy and patriarchy interacted to form specific experiences enslaved black women, black or being a woman separately, but also by recognizing that intersecting identities compound and reinforce one another. The two identities, but when it comes to it gives a different meaning. And in the page number 145, you can see this. You can see some of the writers, especially the Alice Walker. Alice Walker, we are going to talk about her in the next unit. Alice Walker, an American novelist, short story writer. And here she felt feminism as a term suggested a privileged position to the white woman, while excluding the struggles of the women of color. She used the term womanism rather than the feminism. The Alice Walker used the term womanism. We may have the question, who the Alice Walker and womanism? If there is a match the following, please straight away go to the womanism. She gave an alternative term to that. And another important Afro-American writer is Toni Morrison. Toni Morrison, she is the first Afro-American woman to win the Nobel Prize in literature. Her name is Toni Morrison for the book of The Bluest Eye. It is written in 1970. The Bluest Eye. Toni Morrison, Afro-American woman, Afro-American writer, novelist. She is the first woman from the black community received the Nobel Prize. And one of the famous books that discussed about this black racism problems in The Bluest Eye. It is written in the 1970. And also she talks about the capitalism. The America is known for as a capitalist country. And another person is the Angela Davis. Angela Davis is an American political activist, discussed the ways in which race, class, and gender work together to create inequalities. Her contribution is that in Women, Race, and Class, she has written a book, Women, Race, and Class, 1981, written by Angela Davis. There, she is a political activist. She talked about the race, class, and gender. These three things, race, class, and gender, these three things, creating a new kind of as an inequality. They are coming together and creating more inequality in the society. That is what she discussed in the area of the Black feminism. And another point, yeah, this is here in the page number 146, 11.3.7. Here, three things are discussed. Here, three things are discussed that are that are multicultural feminism, post-colonial feminism, and global feminism. Three types of cultural and post-colonial and global feminism. This movement is also started in the after 1970s, and it recognizes the meaning of this. These are the three different types of the feminism: multiculturalism, post-colonialism, and global feminism. The multicultural feminism means the women from different geographical locations, different cultures, different religions, and different languages. They are expressing their experiences and contributing to the voice of the women's rights. And they are also fighting for the equal rights in the society. So that is why it is called as a multicultural. Earlier, it is only the white people and white culture or European culture or first world experience only. Later, it escalated this movement, spreading across the continents and from second world countries, third world countries, especially the Arab countries, African countries, a place like the India. Like these people contributed a lot of voice and information to this feminist movement. So that is why it's called as a multicultural movement. Other movement is the post-colonial feminism. Post-colonial feminism, actually these feminism movements after the 1940 or 1950, whatever it started, it comes in the area of the post-colonial area. Post-colonial means during the colonial period means the British people, wherever they established the colonies and ruled, that is called the colonies and colonialism. When they returned their home to the London, and when they returned to the homeland to London, this place is left as the independent place or the liberation place, liberated place. But actually, even though after they left from these places, their ideology is still existing in the native places. So from that ideology, from that language, from that lenses, from that framework, the people are looking at themselves. These things are taught in the post-colonial areas, post-colonial countries across the world. There almost all are the post-colonial countries. Post-colonial countries, and the post-colonial idea and identity. This is feminism also rethinking and reinvestigating about themselves and looking and reframing about themselves in terms of the language, in terms of the culture, in terms of the expression. From the post-colonial countries like India, Africa, African countries, Arab countries, all these countries were experiencing this kind of post-colonial feminist ideas. And all these things, this feminist idea is talking about the against the oppression and fighting for the equal rights. This you should remember and write in your examination. And another point here, the global feminism. The global feminism means that recently, the recent development of social media for last 10 years, it erased the boundaries. It erased the boundaries, and all people are coming together, expressing about themselves. There are new platforms emerged. Earlier, the protest was in the streets, protest was on the paper. Now it is on the social media. There are many groups, and the social media groups are influencing, and they're sharing, exchanging the information, ideas, and legal perspectives, theoretical perspectives across the continents. And it comes in the global. And another important point here in this area is discussed of the this lady, Gayatri Chakrabarti Spivak. She is an Indian feminist thinker, feminist writer, Gayatri Chakrabarti Spivak. Her name, her famous essay is that "Can the Subaltern Speak?" Can the Subaltern Speak? Can the Subaltern Speak? Speculations on widow sacrifice. Can the subaltern speak? That means the subaltern means who are the minority people, women and Adivasis, tribals, aboriginals, and minority communities, Muslims or other people. She is talking about themselves. Really, are they speaking? Can they speak in this dominant world, in these dominant structures? And she told that yes, they are speaking, but there are no people to hear them. They have the voice, but they have no people to hear them. So they need to create their own voice. They need to create their own voice. They need to write about their own histories to create a parallel history and to give the answers to the mainstream society. That kind of argument she developed in her Akenda subaltern speech. And another important here ecofeminism. Ecofeminism. This is there in your questions. This is there also. This is also there in your questions. What is ecofeminism? The ecofeminism means the woman herself is considered as. Sunita, please mute yourself. Sunita.
Okay, sir.
Mute yourself. Yeah, ecofeminism. Ecofeminism is important thing that woman is considered as a prakriti. Woman herself is coined as a prakriti. She is the symbol of the nature. Such kind of feelings were there. But when it comes to the individual psychology and her innate nature, woman is closely connected with the environment, ecology. She is closely connected with her sensible nature, her sensitive emotions are closely connected with the nature. And the way we are oppressing the nature for and utilizing them for our luxuries, same as we are also doing against to the women also. We are suppressing her, we are oppressing her, and using her for our luxuries and for our needs without taking care of her, without taking any responsibility of her. So in that way, the feminism is closely connected with the ecofeminism. Ecofeminism, when it comes to the in India, there is a famous environmental activist. Her name is Vandana Shiva. This is there in the page number 147. 147. And Vandana Shiva is one of the world's most prominent theoretical critics of the dominant forms of development and globalization. She's talking about the development, and at the same time, the capitalist society or the state is also working like in the name of the development. They are cutting up the forests, they are building the new projects, water dams. So this is creating a imbalance. In the nature itself. So that is why to avoid that, to respect and to protect the nature, the women also started a movement against the idea of the development. Of course, they are respecting the idea of development, but not by damaging the natural resources or exploiting the natural resources. So women, in this way, women played a key role. For example, in another movement, there is a movement called the Chipko movement. It happened in the Uttarakhand forest hill area near Alaknanda River. The Chipko movement. And another movement is the Medha Patkar. She started. These are the three people. These are the three important things in the ecofeminism. And another one, the last one is the minority, indigenous, and Dalit feminisms. Yeah, as we discussed in the same area of multiculturalism and multicultural feminism or post-colonial feminism. This is one of the major area, the minority, indigenous, and Dalit feminisms, because these people are the marginalized people, downtrodden people, oppressed people by community itself. But within the community, the woman doesn't have the prominent respect or consideration. So in this moment in the third world country, so they are giving a priority to learn about themselves and their experiences, and they have also a voice to question the mainstream patriarchal dominations. Such things was there, and here it is the information. You can see that Shantabai Kamble in the page number 148. These things are here. And another important point in this unit, the waves of the feminism. The waves of the feminism. We have the four waves of the feminism. Four waves of the feminism. The first wave of the feminism, it is during the time of the America's 1848 convention. 1848 convention. That time it started for the adult suffrage, means it is they are fighting for the rights to ask the votes. They also need to participate in the public sphere, and they are fighting for the rights of casting their vote, adult suffrage. And this was the initial level, and they are fighting for the to access the education and holding the property. These were the initial stages. These are the initial stages in the waves of the feminism. The basic political rights that they fought for, and also they are fighting for the against the male dominant legal provisions, whatever is available. They are fighting for to ban it or abolish it. That is also one of the reasons in the first wave happened. And in the second wave of the feminism, this happened during the time of the 1960s and late 1980s. 1960s and late 1980s. In between that 20 years, there is a movement, and this happened in the earlier, the first wave. It has witnessed two civil wars, two world wars, World War I and World War II. And when it comes to the 1960s and the 1980s, the world has changed, and the new kind of capitalist economy and new kind of industries are slowly emerging, and women have started to participate in the mainstream society, and she started working, and she has access to education, and slowly she is working with the governments and in a individual private firms also. She is going to be a key decision maker. She is going to be a decision maker through her education and the knowledge and the participation with the political groups. So this was witnessed in the second wave. And another thing, this is there in the page number 150. This information is there in the page number 150. And please remember or note down one thing. There is a in the first wave one person, Simone de Beauvoir. It's called as Simone de Beauvoir. Her book is Second Sex. Her book name is Second Sex, and this book is the foundation for the second wave of the feminism. And this book has given some questions, kind of like what is a woman, who is a woman, what is the difference between men and the women, and what is the biology of the men and the women. Such things she has given. The equal in this book, she provided a lot of information that men and women are equal with all kind of biologicals, all kind of the potentials. But except only in biologically also, only one difference is there, that is the reproductive system compared to the men and the women. Other than that, everything is equal. Such kind of ideas she introduced to the feminism. So based on this, there is a second wave emerged. Discussed about the origins of women's oppression, the same as, because you may feel bored, but this is the thing. Keep on talks about the oppression and equality, patriarchal system, dominant systems against the state, against to the social conventions and the traditions, and fighting for the individuality, equality. These are the terms frequently appear. And whenever you are writing the exam, please mention these terms. Yeah, this is about the second wave of the feminism. Basically, the second wave of the feminism, it started in the universities, in the academic area, because the universities, the women started and joining as the teachers, professors, and different NGO organizations, and they started talking about the women's rights and the equality, and talking about the women's workforce also, their labor, and are they getting the proper wages or not. So what is the difference between the salaries, difference between the men and the women that they are getting, and what kind of jobs they are assigned to. in the governments or the public space or private space, and what are the obstacles they are facing. All these things comes in the second wave. And another thing is the third wave. It is on the page number 151. The third wave, it is clubbing after the 1990s, during the 1990s to 2010. There's 20 years of time. This is talking about the third wave, especially is focusing on the third world countries. Third world countries, African countries, Africa and Latin American countries, Asia, South Asia, especially India kind of places, and Arab countries. So this is talking about these countries' women's problems. These countries are based on the religions, language, and caste system. They're existing with these kind of structures. So they're talking about these people's problems and these people experiences. In the third wave, it happened after the 1990s onwards. So in the page number 151, in the first paragraph and the second paragraph, after in the 11.4.3, just focus on this. Focus on this. The concerns of the second wave of feminist movement were therefore found to be inadequate, especially due to its lack of attention to the differences amongst different groups of women due to race, class, ethnicity, nationality, and religion. Identity as a site of struggle become the concern of the third wave feminists. So it is a kind of identity politics. So we are from this community, we are from this region, we are from this religion. Such kind of politics were emerged during this period of time. It's called as an identity politics. And another wave of this feminism, fourth wave of the feminism, fourth wave of the feminism. In this fourth wave of feminism, it started from 2012 after this Nirbhaya case. If you can remember that Nirbhaya, there is a new act emerged, and this is dealing with this 21st century. After first decade, the women are experiencing a new kind of problems, new kind of dominance, new kind of oppression. So it is dealing with that. In the wake of the social media development, the women are being harassed. Women were being harassed by people on the social media. It talks about the abuses, sexual violence, and violence against the women, and intersectionalities, body shaming, and street harassments, media image, and online harassment and bullying. These things it is dealing with and carry forward with the problems. So these are all about this feminist four ways of the feminism. We have the questions. Write a short note on any three schools of the feminism. And another one is the what is ecofeminism, all right, and what are the shortcomings of the second wave of feminist movements. It paved a route, and it created a path for the third wave people, like they're fighting for the rights of the jobs and the new theoretical frameworks that emerged in the university academia and from the streets too. Earlier, the movement was in the streets, it's an activism. But later, it started the activism with the help of the academic activism. So, in the universities, the academicians and NGO organizations, they participated, and this cultural feminism incorporated in this area by taking the voice of different sections of the people. And also post-colonial feminism, multicultural feminism incorporated in this second wave of the feminism. And other question is that the briefly summarize the different concepts that emerged during the four waves of the feminism. Just summarize this, how it is beginning. Earlier, it is beginning for the access to education and to hold the property and to participate in the public places, like to cast their votes. This was the beginning. So beginning to in the nowadays, the social media bullying, sexual harassment, violences, abuses, female infanticide, like if the woman is being pregnant with the baby, the female infertile, the fetus is the female, they are killing. So such kind of things also is part of the waves of feminist waves or feminist movements. These things we can think of. This is about 11th unit. Another important one. These other things in the unit 13, I discussed it already. I discussed in the yesterday's class that LGBT theory and all. The locations and ideologies, unit 9, page number 114. Locations and ideologies. So in this unit, you will have, three questions. Give answer to the following less than 30 words. One is the ideology, normativity, stereotype, and cultural materialism, and themes of writing. This question is very important. This may come in your exam.
Which question, sir?
Unit 9. Unit 9.
Unit 9. Yes.
Unit 9. Page number 123. If you go, there's a model sample question.
Yes.
Yeah. The fourth question. Give answers. And the third question. First, third, fourth. Fifth also. But among this, fourth is important, first is important, fifth is important. 4 questions are there. These questions for answers you can see that, but there is a less information, you can develop it on your own. The first one is the location, which is there on the page number 114. The word location. The word. Please, Farhana, please
yes,
mute yourself. Yeah, the answer is there. It's the first part, the first 2 paragraphs of 114. What is the location? The word location has an additional intended meaning that goes beyond the initial definition of place or geography. In simple words, location extends to the mapping of a place in relation to the dimensions of space and time. Remember, the dimensions of space and the time. While the scientific definition of the geography covers the this thing, you can write in your examination. This is the answer for that question. And another one, the field of human geography is the study of how humans actively engage in their communities, place, and how these communities interact with each other. This point also, please emerge to the add to the point of location and the geography. Focus on this geography as well as location in these 2 paragraphs, as well as in the page number 115. 115 human geography. Page number 115. It's the human geography. Human geography. That is also there. Human geography. And another important point in the same page number 115, the last paragraph. While locating people to their places, it is beneficial to know the influence of feminism in women's writing.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So can we get more important in other lessons? For exam preparation, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I will come back.
Will you?
And another here the question number 3. What is the standpoint view? What is the standpoint view important in women's writing here? This answer is available here in the page number 115, the last paragraph. And another one, stereotype, ideology. Word stereotype, it is there. It's the page number 116, last paragraph. Page number 116, 9.2, page number 1. Page number 116, lesson 9.2. The first paragraph is dealing with ideology, and last paragraph is dealing with stereotypes. Last paragraph is dealing with stereotypes. First paragraph is dealing with, and the cultural materialism. The cultural materialism is on the page number 117. 117, last to second paragraph. Last to second paragraph. Last to second paragraph. And please in the this here, if you can see here, according to Gramsci. So the answers are available end of your end of the lesson. End of the lesson, the page number 123, 9.9. These answers are available there. The fourth answer is, the first one is the political society and civil society. So these fill in the blanks and match the following. They will directly come from the textbook. You can directly answer. Yeah. That's it from this unit. Now, another important one, it's there in the page number 119. Page number 119, because these characters appeared in other units also. When it comes to the India, in India, the feminist movement is started based on this report of the Committee on the Status of Women in India, 1974. It's at the page number 118. It is there. When it comes to the India, remember this. And she is the first person, Savitribai Phule, who worked for the women's education from the women's point of view and the Dalit feminism point of view. Dalit and subaltern feminism point of view. She is the first person. Savitribai Phule started working on education. It's there on the page number 118. The page number 119. Page number 119. 119, and there is a match the following. Match the following. Like this, Tarabai Shinde, Savitribai Phule. This information is there in the end of your unit. And just pick them and wait before the exams. And popular women writers from India, we have three people in this section. One is the Meena Kandaswamy. She is a feminist writer. She's a poet and critic. She's a poet and a critic. She's here, Meena Kandaswamy from India, poet and a critic. These are the Touch and the Dalit is a poem anthologist. She is one of the contemporary writers. And other one is the Manjula Padmanabhan. She is a lady cartoonist. Manjula Padmanabhan is the page number 124, second paragraph. Manjula Padmanabhan. Double Talks. Her book name is Double Talks. Based on her characters, her cartoons are compiled in a book. It's called as a Double Talks. She has written, and she wrote a play called Harvest also. Harvest. And her famous character name is, the cartoonist character name is Suki. Suki. She is questioning the male domination and women rights in the cartoons. Yeah. This is about this week. Another one is of the post-colonial unit 12. Post-colonial unit 12. Post-colonial unit 12. All these things are available under the label of here on the 12.1 and 12.2. 12.1 and 12.2. This information is available. Maybe it comes in the short answers like what is hybridity, what is hybridity, what is liminality, what is contact zone. This information will maybe the examination. And here in this post-colonial writing, there are the four authors it is discussed about. Four authors, it is there in the page number 160. Page number 160. Four authors are the first one is the Alice Walker, and for this 12.6, page number 162, 161, 162, 161, 162, 161, page number. And there are 4 women novel writers, women writers. 2 from India. 2. Mute yourself. Jaya Rajesh, please mute yourself. This page number 160 and 161. This is a compulsory question. Compulsory question will come from this minute. Mr. Jaya. Yeah. The first one is the Alice Walker. She is an Afro-American writer. The book name is Color Purple. Color Purple. She talks about the Black women's problems and the dynamics of the Black women politics, Black racist politics in America. And another one is Chimamanda Adichie. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She is an African writer. She talks about the Nigerian experience. Her book name is Half of a Yellow Sun. Her book name is... Hey, Mr. Rajesh, just mute yourself. Mr. Rajesh, mute yourself. Yes. The Chimamanda Adichie, she is from Nigeria. She is also a post-colonial writer, and it is very important. Remember, there are the 4 authors in this book, and among these 4, 3 will come in different units. Alice Walker will come, and another person is the Urvashi Butalia. She is an Indian writer, post-colonial writer. She talks about the partition. She talks about the Indian partition. She is a partition novelist and writer. Her book name is The Other Side of Silence. The Other Side of Silence. She talks about the partition trauma stories, partition experiences of different communities, women and different lower castes. And another person is Mahashweta Devi. Mahashweta Devi, she is a Bengali writer. She writes in the Bengali. She is a feminist writer. Especially, she is known for the tribal writings. She writes tribals and ethnicity, indigenous or aboriginal, whatever we call, we write it. And her books are the Chote Munda and Her Arrows, the Breast Stories, Imaginary Maps. These are very important works, novels, plays, short stories, and the dramas. Essays also she contributed. Mahashweta Devi. These 4 people are important, and these 4 people will appear in different units also. This is about 12th unit. Read this 4, and the 3 people will help you in different units also. Voices from the margins. There is another 13th unit. These things we discussed in the yesterday's class on sexualities, the LGBT writings, and the different sections of the binary and gender spectrums. The special here it's added. One is the trauma writing and disability studies, or women's slave writings. Women's slave writings and trauma writing. The trauma writing means the people who experienced or went through a lot of trauma, with pain, with the harassment. Those people experiences come into the trauma literature, especially during the world wars. During the world wars, women were abused by different countries, soldiers, or the people in the name of the religion, in the name of the place. Such things, they went into the trauma. Their experiences were very brutal experiences they encountered. Such things were discussed in the trauma narratives. And another one is the slave narratives. male slave narratives and women slave narratives. The difference between the male slaves and the women slaves. The women slaves experienced and encountered the sexual violence and abuses comparing to the men, and they cannot cope up themselves, and they're being brutally harassed. Such things were there in the slave narratives. And remember, I'm not reading these things, but check your progress, match the following, and fill in the blanks. The answers are available. End of your text. End of your text. And another important character is the Savitri Bai Phule. When it comes to the Indian feminist movement or Indian reforms, we should talk about. She's from the Dalit and Bahujan point of view. She's the person who started her feminist activity for woman equality, woman rights for equal rights for the women through the education. Her name is Savitri Bai Phule. She will appear frequently. And the unit 15, there is a book called, it's on the page number 197. Page number 197, the story of Matsya Gandhi. The story of Matsya Gandhi. Matsya Gandhi. Story of Matsya Gandhi. On page number 197. 197. It is based on the Kerala fisherwoman story, inspired from the Mahabharata, the Matsyagandha, the famous story of the Matsyagandha and the sage Parashura. Parashura and Matsyagandhi story she adapted, and she wrote a one-act play in Malayalam language. Talks about the from difference of the woman and beauty and woman and the body smell. She doesn't have the time to take care of herself. Such things, women and hygienity. These things will discuss in the story. This is the 15th unit. I'm coming back to the important questions. In the first unit, what is the use of the self-writing and women's writing? Women's self-writing. First unit. The second unit, Mary Wollstonecraft. Always remember Mary Wollstonecraft. Mary Wollstonecraft. And the first unit explain the anxiety of authorships. Why women are discouraged from writing. And thus how does the self-writing will help? How does the self-writing will help to the women? These things are there in the first unit. Second unit, Mary Wollstonecraft. Mary Wollstonecraft and the idea of new woman. The idea of new woman. Idea of new woman in the second unit. Idea of new woman. The second unit, it's on the page number 23. The answer you will get on the page number 23. Page number 22, you will get two women's movements, the early women's movements. Early women movements during the time of the Victorian age. On the page number 22, second and third paragraph. Third and fourth paragraphs. Third and fourth paragraphs on page number 22. Page number 22. And discuss about the two separate spheres. Two separate spheres, public sphere and private sphere. I discussed it. The woman is in the domestic place and man in the public space. And how does the new woman is a differ from the traditional Victorian woman? The Angel in the House. There is also a poem, Angel in the House. That poem is representing the Victorian era, but the new woman she is working. She is a working woman. She is an independent, individual woman. She accesses to education and all the things. She is trying to develop her own individuality and identity by making using of all the resources. And also she is challenging the male domination, participating in the public sphere. So that is it. Personal is political. Here in this, two things are important. So the page number 3.3, Isabella Whitney, she is the first woman poet. She is fighting for the women's rights of holding the property, the will. And another one is Afra Ben is the first woman and feminist writer. She talked about the body desires. She talked about the body desires, sexualities, and individuality of them. And in this unit, professions for women, Virginia Woolf essay is very, very important and compulsory question. Virginia Woolf, don't miss this Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf at least appear in 3-4 units. The same thing, professions for women. And at the same time, another important this professions for women is in the page number 38, 3.6, and another one is the page number 35. The professions for women. What kind of professions were there? Child rearing, like a nurse, a teacher, cooking. These were the occupations or professions that is designed for the women. Yeah, another point is the women's speak. This is talking about in the 4th unit. It is talking about the women's canon, and madness as a language. Women's canon, madness as a language, and this is talking about the women's sentence. Virginia Woolf said women should have a different sentence structure, different vocabulary to express her own experiences. That is what in the 4th unit, but we can. No, I cannot say that. You can skip for this, but you read it. And the women's sentence is the important. This is related to the Virginia Woolf. Virginia Woolf. We are the canon, the 5th unit. So 5th unit is talking about how canons form. Okay. Alice Walker is there. Alice Walker. Just now we talked about Alice Walker, Afro-American writer from America. She is there in the 5th unit. Alice Walker and as well as Virginia Woolf. And in other worlds, travel. In other worlds, this unit is discussing about travel writing, the difference between the male and the female travelers, and the kind of things they are documenting. Still, women are trying to travel to other places. How they are looking, how they are looked at, how they are looked at, how people are looked at them. These things are discussed in this unit. And intersectionalities, it is talking about feminist literature and the feminist movement, feminist scholarship. Here it is intersectionality is important. Intersectionality is important in this unit. Remember, or read all the fill in the blanks and match the followings. And there is a thing here, the Simon de Beauvoir, just now I told you, the second section book she has written. Here they discussed about the difference between the sex and the gender. It happened in other units also. Sex and gender, intersectionality, and the difference, the word difference. In the caste, race, and ethnicity, this is dealing with the caste is dealing with the India, and race is dealing with the first world countries, and ethnicity is dealing with the Australia as well as Africa and India. Ethnicity is dealing with the aboriginal tribes, aboriginal people, or the tribal people in India. From our Indian perspective, Mahashweta Devi is the key person. And caste, there are many people, but remember the Savitri Bai Phule, how the caste is affecting. The Dalit feminism comes in this area. Post-Colonial feminism comes in this area. The race is it's white and black. It's a European. Yeah, these are the things previously I discussed. I completed my topics. Any doubts? Quickly, 1 minute time we have. 2 minutes time. 2 minutes we have. Don't waste the time. If you want anything, just ask me. Yes, Sujata? Yes. Tell me, Sujata.
Hello, excuse me, sir. Good afternoon,
Yes.
sir. When will be the other classes, sir?
I don't know.
Other online classes, when it is going to start, sir? Because we have exams from the next month, 3rd onwards, it is going to start 5th sem.
No, I'm not aware of this.
So when it will be?
I'm not aware of it.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Page number 69. Hello, excuse me. Page number 69, 5.6. Page number 69, 5.6. Remember this page. Remember this page. Read this page and remember the information. It will help you in writing answers for other questions also, because it is talking about the Indian way of experiences. It's there in the page number 69, unit 5, and subunit is the 5.6, page number 60. There are the three authors. It is talking about the Kamala Das, Kamala Markandeya, Sarojini Naidu, Torudat. These people it is talking about who are contributing to the literature, and they are talking about the Indian experiences. If you read this one page, it will cover many units. Page number 169. It will help you in developing your answer. And page number 97, 96 and 97, 7.7, unit 7, 96 and 97. Some notable feminists from India, and also from 94 to 96, 94 to 97, these three pages, 94 to 97, 94 to 97, seventh unit. You read these three pages. This also will help you in developing answers, because these three pages cover many units, topics of many units, these three pages. This is discussing about the Indian feminism, Indian women writers from different geographical regions and languages and religions, and their contribution and their books names. The seventh.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So the 14 lesson, making and unmaking of dinners. What is about it? So.
Hi, I'm good. This is discussing about the changing of the genres. Changing of the genres. There are the standard genres are there, but when the women started writing, they're changing the canonical, complete understanding of the women writers. They are bringing new ideas and new perspectives in the writings, and at the same time, with a new kind of what is this? The formats, like the graphic novel is there. Earlier, this graphic novel was not there. Only poetry was there, short story, drama, and novel was there. But later, graphic novel, the women's writing also took the graphic novel as a medium to express their ideas. Such things. And non-fiction. Earlier, we have been talking about the only fiction, like this character, the drama, this poem, like that. But they also started writing the non-fiction, life narratives and testimonials. Testimonials means the interviews they have taken, and secretly they have documented some people's ideas and opinions and their experiences without revealing their identity. These things are becoming the part of the literature. That is what this unit is discussing. And this is also contributing to the feminist literature. Without revealing their names, they're expressing about themselves. And in the last point, you can see, even if you write a Facebook post, even if you post on Instagram, this is also being led to the discussion. And this is also being to be a prominent literary piece sometimes. From writing something in the social media, writing something in the newspaper article. So these are the new areas that emerged to express the women's experiences and ideas. Earlier, these platforms were not available, but now these platforms are available. that they are allowing independently without having any struggle to access these kind of mediums. It is a tip of our fingers. So we can access and we can express our views. Such things. These things help and strengthen the women's movements. And it has taken a new direction and new shape. That is what this 14th unit is discussing. And in every unit, I am keep on emphasizing, please focus on this, fill in the blanks, match the following. Okay. Yeah, and my time is up, and I'm winding up the session. I don't know how much.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Admin. Bravo, admin. Are you there? University admin, are you there?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Bye. Admin, I'm leaving the room.
चलो चलो